Alright, so my last video suddenly stopped getting views after the second day. I know the algorithm doesn't like me, but I don't really care anymore. I'll still say what I need to say. I hate to agree with Shanmugam, but he has finally sounded the alarm bells after his tolerance and leniency towards two women who disrupted his Meet the People session, and our court here acquitted 3 protest leaders. I'll give them an inch, they'll take a foot. Members of the Jewish community in Singapore have faced unpleasant incidents, hostility both online and offline, prompting fears about their safety amid global tensions over the Israel-Hamas conflict. Now in September, toilets in some international schools in Singapore were vandalized with anti-Israel vulgarities. Jewish students are enrolled in these schools. Now last month, a passing motorist shouted "Free Palestine" at a member of the Jewish community who was wearing a skull cap on his way to the synagogue at Waterloo Street. Now just look at the comments under these news reports. Look at the misinformation in the comments from folks who seem like regular Singaporeans, brainwashed by Hamas propaganda. Now some are even led to believe that we have more in common with Palestinians than Israelis. Look, this is Tel Aviv. This is Gaza. Somebody posted that we could help the poor Palestinians by sending our soldiers there to keep the peace. I say, good idea. Let them see the reality on the ground and why Israel is acting the way they did, instead of hiding behind the keyboard and preaching from their moral high horses after watching all that Hamas propaganda. Why is woke ideology so enticing? Let me give you an example. A man sees a tiger running towards his family. He shoots the tiger. The video of the shooting and the dead tiger goes viral. Or the woke would vilify the man and weep for the tiger. The poor tiger was innocent. It didn't do anything wrong. It was hungry and just going for food. The man is evil. Now, if another tiger comes along and he shoots it as well, they call it genocide. Now, I don't want to go into too much historical detail, but let's look at something that is very easy to understand and identify with: human nature. Just like the man who shot the tiger, Israelis are no saints, but their human nature is not very different from ours. The British Mandate of Palestine expired on the 15th of May 1948. One day earlier, the nation of Israel was born, or reborn if you will. The nation of Palestine was left hanging because the Arabs have rejected the UN's partition plan, which could have led to a 2-state solution. Why? Because they wanted every inch of the land from the river to the sea. They didn't expect Israel to survive the onslaught from the combined forces of the Arab army. 700,000 Arabs were told to leave their homes and return after Israel was annihilated. As it turned out, the Arabs suffered a humiliating defeat, even though they greatly outnumbered the Israelis. What would you do after proudly defeating an enemy that had a genocidal intention on you? Pat them on the back, say, "Sorry, you failed to annihilate my clan. Please come home and try again." Now, if you wouldn't do that, why do you expect the Israelis to do that? Now, that event was known as Nakba, a humiliating catastrophe according to one Syrian professor. But that's not the whole story. 150,000 Arabs did not leave their homes to cooperate with the Arab army. They stayed and became Israeli citizens. That number has grown to 2 million today. Genocide? Some of them have even joined the IDF to fight their cousins who had joined the dark side. Now, why are they suffering so much? Because they keep starting wars that they can't win. Go read about the 6-Day War. Go read about how the Fedayeen plotted against King Hussein and hijacked planes into Jordan. You call Israel a terrorist state? Your parents could have been on the long list of flights hijacked by the PLO. Now go read about how they triggered the Lebanese civil war and turned Beirut from the Paris of the Middle East into ruins. Now go read about why Egypt has set up a blockade against Gaza, their former territory. Now you don't claim genocide when you have lost the war you started. You don't claim genocide when you use your own people as human shields to maximize civilian casualties. Israel dropped 153 tons of explosives inside Gaza. They were fully capable of wiping out the entire population of Gaza, but it didn't happen. Genocide? Now reverse the situation with Hamas dropping 153 tons of explosives inside Gaza populated by Israelis. Do you think there'll be any survivors? Now, some people say that things happening in the Middle East don't concern us. They should wake up. Former enemies, Egypt, Jordan, UAE, Bahrain, Morocco, Sudan, have peace treaties with Israel. Yet, countries from Europe to America, Australia, and even Singapore have imported people who brainwash some of their own to smear and verbally declare war against Israel. Look at what's happening in Western societies. The Intifada is being globalized, aided by the woke, who expect people to jeopardize their family's safety and well-being for the sake of a poor, hungry tiger.